Hey everybody, it is me, your host, Joe Slepsky, and I am just dropping a note. I'm running a rerun this week because there's just stuff going on and I didn't have time to put a show together. But I promise you I'll be back next week. I think actually I'm going to go back to doing a few illustrateds. I have a G.I. Joe versus Transformers trade paperback on my desk that we've never covered from the 80s. So I think we're going to pop in and do those real quick. So get ready for some of that next week. And I think you're going to enjoy today because today, let's revisit that time the Baroness herself, Morgan Lofting, graced our eardrums. So I know you're going to enjoy it. I really appreciate all your listens. I appreciate you saying hello on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff at Joe and Joe Pod, and especially giving a lot of love to our sponsor, the Movies and a Meal podcast, as always. They're a lot of fun. Hope you guys are all doing well. I am excited to say we finally played the G.I. Joe Mission Critical game this week. I've been buying them and keeping them in my closet, and we finally busted it out with my pals Jeremiah and Paul, and that game's pretty great. Although the phrase of the day was, "Oh wait, I think we were supposed to be doing this," and that's pretty much described how we played. But we had a good time, and the game's a whole lot of fun. It's from the Renegade Games. If you haven't checked that out, I strongly urge it. It's a pretty good time. So, without any more, preamble, let's get into listening to that time we spoke with Morgan Lofting.
Joe! Joe!
Joe on Joe is the only podcast where Joe talks about Joe. And now, your host, Joe Slepsky.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Joe on Joe. It is me, your host, Joe Slepsky, and this is a very special episode. I told you, I promised you, I'd be back in some way, shape, or form, and this is just a part of it. It's the start of it, you might say, because I've got an amazingly special interview. I am sitting across from an amazing talent, a spectacular woman who brought more joy to the ears of every single person listening to this than I could possibly describe with any kind of verbiage. You know her from Star Blazers. You know her from the early 80s pre-Amazing Friends Spider-Man show. You know her from an episode of Street Hawk. But most likely, I would guess that you might have heard of her character on a little show we love to call G.I. Joe, Real American Hero, the Baroness herself, Morgan Lofting. Morgan, welcome to Joe on Joe.
Oh, Joe, I'm so happy to be here. I cannot tell you how happy I am.
That's the greatest thing. So far in all our discussions, I've heard hints of the Baroness and just talking to you normally, but that's the first time you've turned on the Baroness, and that's amazing. Thank you for coming on the show, Morgan.
Oh, I am so happy to be here. I really, that doesn't say. They're going to say, who's that? Okay. You remember how the Baroness used to show up and you didn't know it was the Baroness?
Well, she was always wearing a mask.
She would take off the mask. Well, and then I take off the mask and you'll see who I, okay.
That was one of the best parts of that show was always the unmaskings. Everyone, there was always, almost every episode, there's a rubber mask, right?
I know.
And to hear that switch in the voice was
with
just
the glass underneath.
She always wore the glasses.
The glasses. I mean, have you heard of lenses? Never mind. No, it was perfect. I just.
So you are probably one of the most iconic voices in 80s cartoons. I would absolutely say you're absolutely in the top tier voices.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Broad strokes. What does that mean? Like how do you get recognized vocally? Do people are you ever out and talking to someone and you maybe slip into the Baroness a little bit?
No. No, nobody would even know. The first time I was aware that anything was going on, it was the early 90s, I think, and I was doing an industrial on camera, and one of the guys said something or other, and I said, oh, yeah. And I did the Baroness and G.I. Joe, and there was this, paused and thought, wait, what? Who? And that was the first time
Yeah.
that I became. It's a very strange sensation. I mean, and it's mostly guys who will come up. Women come up now, but they're younger women. It was basically the men that saw the show when it first came out, and they will come up and introduce their families. And it takes a while to get it. You know, am I being conned? Is this yeah. No. These people are very, very sincere. And so we're going to talk about some of the incredible people that I've met.
G.I. Joe is very generational. I have met through doing this podcast so many listeners who say, we watch it with my kids. We, in now the age of DVD and Blu-ray and streaming, it's not currently streaming. I wish they would be, but yeah. And they sit their kids down. And I think it's a testament to, number one, to be absolutely as not kiss butt as possible, the acting. Because you guys brought something, you're
good
the
voices.
whole cast of voices were so great and so there and really acting it, really living it. And then the animation was better than most cartoons at the time. The animation was just amazing. The first couple seasons.
Yeah,
the
drive, the music. And if
music. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And if you go back and you just watch it, turn the sound off and watch it, though. It's all those layers of sound that drove the show. Yeah. Really, really drove the show, yes.
So where are you from originally? What part of the world?
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
Yes.
And
why? You want me to talk a little more Oklahoma?
Can
sure. That's not a problem.
And when did you start acting?
Oh, my God. Well, Chautauqua, New York. My father and mother were at the Cleveland Playhouse. And someone tried to drag me on stage to perform with the little kindergarten group. And I said, I don't want. So I suppose that was it. I don't want. And I haven't done theater in a long time, but oh my God. Why are you doing this? Are you out of your mind? The most intense, run to the bathroom 45 times. And then it's my cue and I'm on stage. And then I can't even begin to explain it. Mm-hmm. Something similar happened to me in Florence when I had to drive on the autostrada. And there was nobody with me, and I had a rental car, and I had to get out of the parking lot and drive like 20 miles down the road. And I had sort of programmed where I was going in my head. There was no GPS at this point. And I went around the parking lot and back and forth to the bathroom and around in the parking lot. And my front wheels hit the street, and I was fine. I was like, what just happened?
So it's like stage fright, actor's panic, and then as soon as the lights go up, you're in the mode.
I don't know, because I learned to drive in Manhattan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And my front wheels hit the pavement in Florence, and I was, okay, here we go. And I thought, oh, please, could I bottle this so that... So all I can do is remember that I have this facility. I remember, it's okay, go ahead, have a panic, go ahead, and...
It looks like Spider-Man as Aunt May and Felicia Hardy, the Black Cat, was your first. So how did you get that assignment? Like, what was it? You were living in L.A. or?
Yeah, I'd come down to L.A. you hang around a long time and do a lot of stuff. But I got the audition. Can't remember if it was John Jurwitch or Wally Burr, but anyway, I went in and and Don Jurwitch was so sweet. He always said that he thought that my Aunt May was just top Aunt May. So I really loved it. And then, of course, there's the Black Cat. And playing evil, I have to tell you, is so much fun.
Well, the Black Cat would have been very new at the time as a character. So you probably are the first person to ever voice her. Yes. She was created in like 1979 to 78-ish era.
There is a Spider-Man before. There were so many iterations of Spider-Man. Yeah. well, I'm not sure
there
if
was
Black
the six-
Cat was in it
Yeah,
or
there
not.
was the
but-
66, like the 60,
Okay.
60 was it 69 Spider-Man or
I
68?
know.
Late 60s. That's the one with the theme song everyone,
Okay.
knows. And then my understanding is your version was it was the precursor to the Amazing Friends one.
Well, I'll
And
take
I'm
that.
pretty sure you'd be the first person to voice Black Cat.
Okay.
So that's pretty great.
Oh,
And-
I found the dolly online.
oh, really?
Yes, and I took one out, and somebody wanted it with my autograph on it out at the Transformer show in Burbank.
do you have any recollection of getting the call for G.I. Joe? Like, was it just when we were talking to Bill Ratner about it, he said just a big casting call and a lot of people coming in for it and all that stuff?
I didn't see a lot of people at the studio.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, there's one of those great manuals that Jim Sorensen and Bill
Mm-hmm.
put together. I did the afterward
Mm.
in Volume 2 of G.I. Joe, and I talk about just going in, and they had. Do you want to hear about?
Yeah, we want to hear everything.
Okay.
As much as
Okay.
it's not repetitive for
I will.
you.
I will never. Oh,
Oh, then we're done
everything
here.
about
Then
no.
we're
we
done
don't.
here.
All right, I'm
You've
going
done
to
enough-
shut up
You've
now.
done enough
I
conventions.
know. Yeah. Okay. You get the script. There's a description of the character. With a drawing of the character, just black and white drawing.
How close did the drawing look to what she eventually looked like? Do you remember?
As I recall,
was
it was
spot on.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is what's
Just
in
a
Jim Sorensen's
fabulous
book. Yeah.
look. Fabulous. look.
Oh yeah.
It defined that black leather look defined bad girls for decades.
Oh
Like,
my
for real,
God!
in a real
Oh my
way.
God! In fact, I had a Halloween costume. I actually
Did you
I still have
really?
the gun. I still have.
Do you have pictures of you in that?
No.
I mean, could you imagine being at a Halloween party at the height of G.I. Joe and someone walks in looking like the Baroness and sounding literally exactly like the Baroness? That would have been.
But
that
I
would have been
didn't
my
wear the Halloween costume till 10 years later. So I know. Oh, and if I was the Baroness, I had to have a push-up bra.
Oh, well,
so
sure.
that I had the cleavage, of course.
Sure.
Yeah, and a really tacky black wig. I apologize for that, but anyway. Oh my God. So here's the picture. Here's the script. And then you go outside, or you go somewhere where the competition, because that's who they are, is not going to hear what you want to do. And you can kind of begin to hear yourself. This was a long time ago before there were phones. So you couldn't record yourself if you were at the audition.
Right.
So you couldn't hear the playback. And I must have gone outside and hollered. And there was an indication that it was supposed to be somewhere in Europe. It must have said Middle Europe, because I don't know why I would have picked this if I hadn't. I mean, what? Yeah, okay. And, it's not the Russian accent. It's not the
it's not.
Russian, no. And I really, honest to God, think the thing that probably clinched it, which nobody truly has ever heard, unless they were because whenever I do a table read and it's the Baroness, I will say, okay, we're all going to do Cobra together in a big room, and I never use the mic, and we all yell Cobra.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what clinched the audition.
Really?
Honest to God, do. Yes. Because, like I said, nobody's ever really heard it. Because when it's on television, it's all compressed.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, great, they're going to do the movie, and it's going to be. And then I didn't do it in the movie. Talk about really pissed.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because I thought, wow, I want to hear it on the big screen.
Yeah.
And everybody gets such a kick out of it usually. I'm like, we're all going to yell Cobra, yeah.
Well, the movie was that transitional, driven by the toys. They had to get to the next toy line, and so I think a lot of the people that we were there to see got a little bit of a short shrift in that. A little bit.
You think? and nobody, I don't think, because remember, we're talking about 8, 9, 10-year-old boys, were not particularly forthcoming with any sort of fantasies. And this was before we talked about avatars
Yeah, right.
publicly. And so nobody knew it was they had no idea what to do with. Oh God, girls. Well, girls have to have a guy, right?
Yeah.
If you don't have,
I mean, that adage, as far as like girls' toys don't sell and all that stuff, that's still prevalent today. It's just in the
please.
last maybe 10 years that they're starting to make a turn. But forever, it was the toy people saying, we know what sells and it's not girl toys, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, well, of course, it's not going to sell if it's not in the store.
Right.
I
Well,
looked
yeah.
for my Moonracer, the Transformer character.
Right.
Came out a year ago.
It was the first time. Wow.
So anyway.
So do you remember when you got the call that said, hey, you've got G.I. Joe?
No.
Like, do you remember
Sorry.
that? Yeah.
God, no. I remember the first session because Don recorded the first 3 sessions. I just remember, meeting everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody knew who Chris Latta was. Nobody had the faintest idea about Chris Latta. Where'd this guy come from? Because it's sort of a little incestuous bunch in voiceover. And nobody knew. And there wasn't YouTube, so we couldn't go online and find out what Chris Collins did. It was.
I wanted to
different
ask you
world.
about Chris Latta. Because he passed mid-90s, I believe. And you must have worked with him a ton because your scenes were. I know you guys worked in the same room together, and being on Cobra, you were in the room with him. How was he? Was he? What was he like?
He was a very strange bird.
Yeah.
If you've ever have you watched his YouTube, his stand-up stuff?
No, I don't know that I've ever seen that.
Dark Glasses. There's a great little YouTube vignette where Bill Shatner introduces him, and he basically
The real bullshit.
yeah,
like actual Bill.
yeah, okay, and he looks at Shatner like he's wiping something off his shoe, and goes on stage, and I saw him perform. It's death by laughter. I mean, he's just will eviscerate you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then, of course, everybody does Cobra Commander.
They do, yeah.
I know. No, we're not casting, but thank you for playing. And then Greg Berger, and you certainly know Greg Berger, and Chris and I decided to I have a copy of this, by the way, decided to put together an ad for Hollywood Reporter. It was the something animation anniversary of Hollywood Reporter, and we went out and we put together an ad with just the 3 of us.
Okay.
And Chris found the guy who was going to just do a lot of the sketching for the ad, and that was about all he did. He came along with us, and he was very quiet. And it was me and Greg doing the talking. It was a totally different guy. There was no mask. There was no character. And it was just very, very quiet. You could almost forget he was with you. It was interesting to think about.
Yeah. So you guys were friends. You guys were
No.
No.
Oh no. We hung out because you hang out at a session, but no. And his daughter, oh my God, his daughter showed up at she was a surprise guest at a table reading over here at a BotCon.
Okay.
That Fun Public ran. Oh my God, I can't even remember how long ago this was. And she was just enchanting. She is. Daddy would be very proud.
Oh.
She
great.
was just, and everybody was so tickled to meet her.
Does she follow? Is she a voice actress? Does she follow
I'm
in his
not
steps at all?
sure what she's doing. I'm really not. I mean, the first time I saw her, she was like 4 years old. So, a little person running around. Yeah.
And what was when you first heard his Cobra Commander? Because it's so distinctive. It is so out there. What was your reaction? Like, was it like they chose wisely?
We know why he got hired. Oh my God. I walked into a session to do a Ben 10 session, and I had been away from the business for years because I went to university, did fabulous things there. But I came into the Ben 10 session, and here you go, white hair.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. And the director was Sue Blue, and she said, hey, I haven't heard your voice in a while. And I said, hey, Sue. And Derek Wyatt had actually drawn a character for me.
Oh.
Created it.
Amazing.
I mean, wow. Yes.
And Ben 10's a great show.
Thank you.
Yeah, it really
I was really tickled to be on it. I'm a little robot with great big called Festina. Anyway,
I've seen the images, and that name sounds like you should be on Masters of the Universe with a name like Festina.
I know. Okay. And so here's this, lady with the white hair, and I'm there, and I'm sure everybody's thinking like, who in the hell is this? And where did she come? And what I said to Derek, what do you want her to sound like? And he said, well, deeper than the Baroness. And I thought, okay, so I kind of did a little Arnie. She sounds like this. But anyway, yes.
And you must have worked, obviously, you sit alongside Arthur Burkhart quite a bit. I see him at the shows. So you guys must have worked together quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, obviously,
sure.
Duster and Baroness. What was that relationship like?
It was all at the session.
Yeah.
It was just all at the session, Joe. I mean, once in a while we might run into one another at a party. I'm trying to think. I don't think. Well, I am friends with Gene Jackson, who is married to Neil Ross.
Oh,
so
awesome.
There's, a relationship that has gone on forever. In fact, I'm going to dinner down at Gene Cook's.
What?
I'm going to dinner on Saturday. Yes.
Well, tell him I said hello.
Well,
tell him
I
Joe
will.
and Joe says hi.
Well, I will. Okay. But no, I think that's the only real. Yeah.
And when do you recall when like the conventions first started for you guys? Like when you first started getting the calls
Well,
to say, hey, G.I. Joe convention stuff?
I think Wally Burr probably mentioned my name to Fun Public, which was Pete Sinclair and Brian Singer at the time. And this was maybe the Audis, the two Audis, whatever we're calling them. That was the first one. And Rosemary Ward.
Oh, yeah.
Also, right, was somehow connected with getting me involved in that.
So it's only been like the last 20 years that you've been doing the convention circuit.
Oh, yeah. Maybe the 15.
And how do you like it? How do you like it?
Oh, I love it. I love it. Hey, I got a free ride to London, honey.
That's amazing. So earlier you were teasing us with some of the people you've met. What's your favorite type of fan to meet?
Well, I don't know that it's favorite. It's memorable. Memorable people. There was a guy, Neri Lemus, who was my agent for this, and I were out in, 20 miles north of here. And this guy came and he said, I have come just to meet you. I was born in Iran. We used to listen to the show in English in Iran.
Amazing.
And he is now doing something amazing at Caltech. So there's an interesting person.
Yeah.
A very interesting person. I met some strange birds. We won't go into them.
We can if you'd like.
No, thanks. No,
Have people brought some crazy memorabilia for you to sign?
Yes.
Like stuff you never knew was ever made?
Oh,
or
yeah.
existed,
They've brought things that they've either created by taking video off the screen or they've drawn it themselves. Or Robbie Musso. Obviously he's an artist. I have an original that he gave me.
Awesome.
Of the Baroness.
It's
too bad this is all radio.
Well, my favorite part of fandom is when the fans get old enough to be influencers themselves. So like when you go back and see all the people who grew up watching Star Trek, then they go out in the world and they become engineers and they work at NASA and they bring all these conceptual ideas to the real world.
Industrial light magic, and they're taking on the seat.
So now people who grew up watching G.I. Joe are now working in animation and producing and directing, and they're going, hey, let's bring this back because I love it. That's one of my favorite things to see.
Well, that's where Derek Wyatt, I'm sure that is one of the things that got him into art, the guy who drew Festina for me. Yeah. Here's a character that I met in Springfield, Illinois. Great Lincoln Museum, by the way. If
Absolutely.
You're nearby. Oh, you've been there.
Oh, well, I'm from Chicago. Yeah, I've been through Springfield.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Oh, wow.
I think I was at the Lincoln
fabulous museum
when I was like in the mid '80s. It would have been. It was during the state fair. It was like the big Illinois State Fair. We went down there.
okay.
I'm pretty sure we hit the Springfield Museum.
Okay.
My recollection of that is my mother came home with a subscription to encyclopedias. She got suckered
my
into buying
God,
the
okay.
encyclopedias with the yearly updates, and my father was like, "We're buying what now?" And that was a big boondoggle. So yeah, we still have encyclopedias at my parents' house on the shelf.
Well, I have my Encyclopedia Britannica,
Yep,
and
yep.
it's anchoring my bookshelves in the other room. Okay, where was okay, the Springfield guy.
Springfield, by the way, Springfield,
Illinois.
G.I. Joe, home of Cobra. You know that, right?
No.
Oh yeah, that was Springfield was always the name of Cobra's hometown, like where Cobra would set up their secret base.
Oh my God, I had no idea.
Yeah, and they'd call it.
Oh my God.
They'd call it Springfield, but they would never say the state. It was very much like Simpsons. So it was Welcome to Springfield, and it was like G.I. Joe never knew exactly what Springfield it was and all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh no, I didn't know that. I
Yeah,
didn't.
okay.
You have to go back because they have a Civil War. What would you call it? Oh my God, it's a documentary, but it lights up for each one of the battles.
Oh, wow.
And at the same time that the battles are lighting, it has a rolling toll of the dead and the wounded on both. It's absolutely brilliant. The guy I met there was in the Secret Service. And he said, you would be amazed how many people in the Secret Service are G.I. Joe fans.
Awesome.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, there's a lot of service guys are like, yeah, they got inspired when they're at a young age to join up for the camaraderie. I mean, that's what G.I. Joe was all about for me. And I think even reflecting back on it was about the teamwork and the camaraderie. I feel like I never approached it from like a military fetishism like kind of thing. I was always like, they're a bunch of superheroes with superpowers, right? They've all got their specialties, you know, and that was for me. That was always the draw. And Cobra worked in the exact same fashion as the great supervillain teams worked. They were each so strong, but it was their egos that brought down the plot, which is what we're going to see in today's episode. We're watching Spell of the Siren today.
Oh, all right. Oh my God.
I've got. I don't know. When was you remember this episode, right? Where you get the conch shell?
You know.
I mean, this is like one of your top. Apps.
Okay, I will as we will. I have one more person I want to tell you.
Oh,
about.
you please. Oh, yeah.
This was at the Transformers just this past couple months. A young woman who's in the military, and we never talked specifics, but I'm very well aware that women in the military.
It's tough. Yeah.
Tough. It's a chauvinist world, and something happened with her. We never discussed what it was, but we kind of bonded over the fact that she was there, and I think I had been very important to her, probably only fairly recently, because she, I'm sure, wasn't more than 24 years old. Yeah, so there's that side
great.
of it, too.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She even came back the second day. It was kind of amazing.
That is what's so lovely about the conventions is you guys can put, especially as a voiceover actor, even like if you're a live actor, I think, you know, like say in film, you can go and you can see your stuff being reacted to on screen in a theater, or when you're doing it in the moment, there's, you know, couple dozen people on set at the time, you know. With voice actors, it's you guys in a room. You're not even seeing the final product at all whatsoever.
No.
With one or two voice directors, and it's so isolated to then be able to reach out across the decades, literally across the decades.
Have never seen this.
Oh wow!
As well,
yeah, sure.
You know,
yeah.
I didn't get up on Saturday morning or Friday evening or
what?
Whatever. It was a job.
Life.
Here's
What?
your script. Here's your call time. Here's your check. Thank you. You don't think.
So I've got questions for you about the DIC era. When
Dick?
Do it cheap. When it went from Sunbow to the DIC stuff, you were one of the handful of voices.
Okay,
well, we'll go there. You were one of the handful of voices to go over and work for them.
Yeah. Me and Chris.
What was that? What was that decision all about? What was that? What was that experience like? Was
We just recorded in isolation.
Yeah.
I mean, I never even saw Chris when we did the recording. I guess they felt they couldn't. Canada did not at that time, and I stress at that time, have depth in cartoon voices. They were babies. And so there wasn't... I mean, I've never heard the shows, so I don't know, but I would imagine that the energy is nowhere near the same.
It's funny you say that. It really is flat. It is really, it's very flat. Everyone's very monotone. Outside of literally a lot of the quote unquote American heroes sounding actually Canadian, but the tenor of the show is actually very flat. You're totally right. And then you get this burst of energy with you or with Chris.
Right.
I think Arthur Burkhart did a couple of Destros. Most of the Destros were different, but I think there were a few. Maybe like the first miniseries was him. I'm trying to remember right now as we're talking. But it's like this burst of energy, and then you go back to, hey, let's go get Cobra, eh? You know.
There's no doubt hanging out in Montreal. Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Great.
So after G.I. Joe, you were listed as a voice on Total Recall, the Schwarzenegger movie. What did you do on that?
Well, that whole section that was supposed to be the alien planet sort of looked like, I don't know, really bad Mexican cantina. Okay.
Mars, yeah.
Right. I think it's actually shot in Mexico, and it was shot MOS, which means mit out sound.
Oh.
Because Erich von Stroheim, who was a German director, said, we will shoot this MOS. He wasn't using mit out sound.
Really?
That's what he said, mit out sound.
Awesome.
Yes.
So you provide a lot of the background noise in the bar and stuff like that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very cool.
And the Walla. Oh, Walla's fun.
Walla.
Oh, my God, you don't know about Walla?
Was Walla, is that the face lady who screams?
No.
Who's Walla?
Walla is, okay, you got a bar scene.
Yeah.
You and I are the principals. We're sitting at the bar. We got a lot of people behind us, all at the tables.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they may shoot a master shot of the two of us having our dialogue. Then they may shoot a close-up of you. Then they may shoot a close-up of me. When they go into editing, who knows? They may go master shot, then me, then you. But what about all these people in the background who are sitting there and who are having a high old time? It's not going to match.
Right.
So everybody's in the background is going, and what I'm doing, people, is just moving my mouth and no sound is coming out. And then in post-production, actors go in and they add the noises. They add the voices. They add the...
And is that called Walla?
Yes.
It's referred to as Walla. Is that the noise you make? Like, is it like...
It's kind of wah,
Walla,
because you're not necessarily going to be able to differentiate any of these
you just need the background
sounds.
hum of it.
You need the background hum, yes.
It's great. That's what it's called, Walla.
It's called Walla.
That's awesome.
I know. I did, oh my God, what did I do? The Paul Verhoeven movies. I did Basic Instinct.
Oh, you did?
Oh, yes, as well as Total Recall.
Well, yeah, Total Recall, sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's great. And so specifically working on his films, like, did you know his casting director, or like, how did you keep getting his
There
movies?
was a guy called Norman Schwartz. Now, there are a lot of people who actually have Walla Group. Norman Schwartz at the time was himself an editor. So he would go in and he would help to edit on the Walla. In fact, I remember being on the set with Norman and the gang and Mel Brooks.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, hold on. Let me pick that up. You just dropped that. Here you go. Here's that name. Mel Brooks.
Mel Brooks.
Oh,
yes.
my goodness.
Yes, we were doing Spaceballs.
You did Walla on Spaceballs?
I did Walla on Spaceballs.
Oh, my gosh. That's amazing.
And here, and Annie called a couple times, remember, his wife, Anne Bancroft.
Of course.
Annie called, okay. While we were on set, and we waited.
Well,
And,
you do wait for an Anne Bancroft.
oh,
you
my
give her whatever
God,
time she
yes,
needs. Yeah, she's
yes,
fantastic.
Please.
Yeah,
Oh,
God
my
bless
God.
her. Rest in peace.
I adore her. Anyway, it came to the little marching dinkies, whatever they were called.
Like the stormtrooper. Oh, the little Ewok dudes.
The little
yeah,
sand,
the little Jawa.
little
Yeah, I
sand
forget what they
people.
called.
Yes,
yeah.
and what did Mel say? He said, well, we'll do this later. And Norman said, no, my people can do this. Yeah, they really can. No, we'll give it a shot. Yep. So we all got up. Ding, 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 ding. And Brooks sits there going, okay, I guess that worked.
It totally worked. So
I know.
That's great.
I know. Oh, yeah, fun
That's so
stuff.
much fun.
It is fun.
Yeah, and it's like you get to see your all these experiences just pop up in pop culture all the time.
God. My God. And so I have never seen that Total Recall other than in a black and white work print.
Oh.
I have never seen it.
It's actually pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fun.
I
It's
imagine,
fun.
but
Well, Verhoeven was great for satire at the time. Like he nailed it. There was like a 5 or 6 year period where he was it. RoboCop, that movie. Like
Yes.
even
Oh my
the
God.
Starship Troopers, which at first people were like, it's terrible, but then they reflected and were like, oh no, it's saying
Okay.
everything.
RoboCop is Peter Weller, right?
Peter Weller, the actor, yeah.
You know that Peter Weller now has a doctorate
He's
in Renaissance
Brilliant.
art.
Yes.
Yes.
He is absolutely
Yes.
brilliant.
It
Yes.
didn't hurt that he was Peter Weller.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Right,
That
but
tends
yes.
to open a few doors for
But
you.
yeah, just kind of. But yeah. And I just so love that period. I so adore Florence because you walk around and you go, oh my God, there's something I've just seen in a book.
So let's talk about that. So you said that you took a little time off from the VO game and you went back to school.
I had already had an AA degree. I went back, I got my bachelor's. I stayed and got a master's in sort of early modern history, women's studies, and a period that's sort of 300 BCE to 400 AD. Right? Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Right.
Sure.
The
as one does.
It's called the Hellenistic period.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Listen, I mean,
course, no.
you know, oh my God. And then after I got my master's, I went to USC for 3 years towards my doctorate. And then because I think I'm an actor, there was that tension.
Yeah.
I loved it. I adore the knowledge. Whenever I travel, I'm traveling not just horizontally, I'm traveling vertically. I'm going all the way back as far as anything written of the period goes, and I was in Siracusa in Sicily, where the Greeks landed in 700 BC.
Wow.
Or so, yes, and I'm trotting around and looking at the graves and looking at the.
And is it just coming to life in your mind's eye?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
So I come home and I am just overwhelmed because I'm bringing so much to it, the art and the social situation and the culture. And I've been to Turkey,
Okay.
where I took a little boat called a gullet, which is a flat bottom boat. So it has to hug the coast. We're in the eastern Mediterranean on the Ionian Sea. And this little boat, there were 15 of us. 4 of them were crew members and the cook. Thank God for the cook. And they would drop us off and we would take a bus and we would go in and we would go to the old Greek city-states and climb to the top where there's still the ruins of the Temple of Athena.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. I
Yeah.
mean, wow. And even Amsterdam, wow. I have found, and I didn't realize I had this ability, to hover over the map of a city and kind of get a sense of where I am. And also, I take videos in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, I will be talking to you, and I'll get a flash
Yeah.
of walking past the Pitti Palace in Florence. And it's just little, it's just, I mean, so I know why I'm tired when I come home.
You're time traveling as well as physically
Oh, I
traveling.
am. I am. And it's hard for me to travel with anybody because most people want to shop or they want to eat. And I'm going like, no, there's an old Roman hole in the ground down the road. We have to go, you know. So yes,
That's fantastic.
I have a very lovely life of the mind.
I love hearing that. You well deserved, well earned. Where's the place that you haven't gone yet that you really want to visit or
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have never been to Germany. I've never been to the Eastern Europe. I've never been to Scandinavia.
The Baroness has never been. The Baroness has never been to Eastern Europe.
No, darling, I have never gone. No,
That tracks.
No, I don't know.
That's great. No, that's great.
We'll see.
Very happy.
Spain,
Very happy to
my
hear
God,
that.
I've never been to Spain.
Well, Morgan.
Yes.
I'm very excited today. We're going to watch Spell of the Siren.
All right.
So, our listeners, thank you for tuning into Joe on Joe. Thank you for following me on Facebook and Instagram at Joe on Joe Pod. Send me an email to joeonjoepod@gmail.com and check out the Patreon at patreon.com/joeonjoepod. We've got more exciting things such as this interview in the cooks. Morgan, I'll tell you a little bit about that later.
Okay, what are we doing?
I'm doing some very exciting things. So oh my God, I would love to have you participate, but we're down the road from that. I'm hyping it for later because, yeah.
You should leave it.
Oh, I'm hyping it.
What are you hyping?
Oh, hyping. Oh, I can't tell you now.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying, guys.
okay.
I'm really excited. There's a handful of people that know about this. And it's going to be very fun.
Okay.
So listeners, thank you so much. You guys are great. And Morgan, is there anywhere on social media? Are you on social media?
No.
I forgot to ask you before we started. No.
Life is short.
Yeah. So here's the deal, guys. You wanna meet Morgan Lofting? Get off your butt and go to a convention because she makes the appearances. Do you know when the next one is off the top of your head?
The next one's in Lake Elsinore, coming up in oh my God, the 5th. May
5th of May. Oh, May 5th.
Sunday.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Well, this will drop next week. So, guys, Lake Elsinore.
Lake Elsinore, May 5, Sunday.
Do it.
Yeah, and then I'm going to be in Dayton, and then a Raleigh show, and a San Jose show in the end of August.
Love it.
And then Greenville in South Carolina in November. July for Dayton and Raleigh.
You hear that, Dayton?
You can find.
The home of Toilet Teal. Get out there. Toilet Teal's my wife.
Oh, okay.
We give code names on the show, and she's from Dayton, and her name, she chose her name to be Toilet Teal. So
Okay.
Which
is 40 miles away, by the way, from where I used to go visit my grandmother in South Ina.
Oh, I love it.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes.
Good people from Ohio.
Yeah.
Good people.
You notice a lot of them are from Ohio?
Yeah, they leave.
I know.
They see the lake on fire, and they're like, I got to go.
Oops. I don't think it does that anymore.
They did. They cleaned that up.
Yeah,
so
right.
it's that always felt like a Cobra scheme, by the way. We're going to set the lake on fire. Stop us if you can, G.I. Joe.
Yes.
So, all right, listeners. So get ready with your disc. Remember, we're watching Spell of the Siren. And here we go. And here we go. So this is such a fabulous intro. When was the last time you even saw this intro?
Oh, my God. I don't know.
I think we're about to see you very shortly as G.I. Joe lands on the carrier. There's Burkhart, your betrothed.
Oh, please.
Your
Yes.
betrothed Destro.
Oh,
Who
God.
gets thrown from a flying airplane and caught. So did you have
Jump, Arthur, jump.
Did you have any of these toys when you were working? Did they ever send any to the studio or anything?
No, they never sent anything. I did have a game. I remember I went to Griffin Bacall in New York and got a game, and I gave it to my son. It was really hard to find the Baroness dolly, folks. And then it ended up falling through the grill in my old Ford Mustang. And I think set it on fire later when my son was driving it. Yes.
So Spell of the Siren, written by Jerry and Carla Conway. That is some good lineage. Do you know Jerry?
No.
Jerry is one of the top comic book writers of that era.
Oh,
he
no.
wrote the death of Gwen Stacy. He created the Punisher. He's a big time name in comic books. So this is really good lineage. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's probably at a lot of the cons that you.
Oh,
that
my
you
God,
do.
he might be. I will
must
watch
yeah.
for him.
Yeah. Jerry Conway's a real talent.
I mean, I know Larry. I have a T-shirt where I have all sorts of guys who worked on the original stuff, including Sam Spear, the original large doll, designed the original large doll.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Yeah,
And so T-shirt
yeah.
meaning with a photo on it or
No,
people's
no, no.
autographs?
It's just a show, and there were a whole bunch of writers and artists there, and I happened to have a little pen that,
Oh, yeah.
never washed, never worn, but I've got everybody.
That's awesome.
God,
That's
I
really
know,
awesome.
Yeah.
That's really, really cool.
Yeah.
So we open on the
Okay.
Joes. They are,
This may be it.
Oh,
does that look familiar?
hello, darling.
Yeah. So the Joes are chasing after Cobra, who are, they're going after this conch shell, which is,
Okay.
underwater. And so that was the first time we got the Baroness introduced.
Okay.
And you were in your aqua gear.
Oh, and there's
Effectiveness over the long run is achieved.
Who are
through
those
careful
No, that's
management of
Tomax and
short-term
Zama.
cash flow.
okay.
And they're the twins who were like the lawyers. Oh,
Oh,
The
I hear
Crimson Guard
someone from.
commanders could be powerful allies or dangerous foes. It is unwise to provoke them.
it's like you're in the room.
It's unwise to provoke them. What am I wearing?
I
Some sort
love
of a
that you
rubber
were
suit.
you were scuba diving in your full leather Baroness outfit.
Well, yeah.
Its music lured 1,000 sailors to do
so you
on
might
the
find
reef
this funny.
above.
So the way they colored Destro with Arthur Burkhart's, strong African American sound,
Right.
and his shirt was I never caught that being a flesh color. I always thought it was like a yellow shirt. I always just thought he was a black dude underneath there. I never knew he was supposed to be Scottish.
Oh, I know. Isn't that like, okay.
But he's such a great voice. He's
Yeah,
so
he's
he's so
perfect.
amazing. Yeah.
There's another one everybody try. Oh, there's Lady Jane.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait, or is that
Lady,
Scarlet?
no, that's Lady
Oh, it's
J.
Lady
You're absolutely
J.
right. Yeah.
Okay. Hello, Mary Mac. Oh, God,
And
look
there's
at
Bill
all this-
Ratner, Flint.
Oh, my God.
Now, what did you think of when they played around with the flirtatious Flint Baroness romantic subplot
You know,
every once
I
in a while?
very vaguely remember some of this. As I said, they didn't know what to do with the women unless they gave them a guy. Like,
Yeah.
hello. Yeah. But anyway, yeah,
So
it was fun. It's fun. Oh. Evil. Okay. Evil.
You're winning, though. Baroness,
I know.
Baroness does really well in this opening scene. She's the only one that gets out. So in a scene like this, are you all in the room for all this at the same time?
Generally not. Not the way Wally liked to work. He liked to work, ooh, what am I going to do now?
Get to the escape pod.
There you
My
are.
escape pod.
So you wouldn't be with the other actors.
Not necessarily. Right, I know. You had to have razor room between actors because we recorded before they drew anything. So they never knew exactly where they were going to put the fights or the laughs or the, yeah. So it really wasn't, for actors, and I've done shows where we leave razor room, it's more fun to be in the room together because you get to play off one another. You
The term
play
you're
off
using-
that energy.
The term you're using, razor room?
Razor room, a place to cut for
Okay.
the editor.
Okay.
A space to cut. So you and I are talking. Talk to me while I'm talking to you, you see? So
Right. Yeah. So there's no
there was
razor
no
room.
razor room.
So you would say a line of dialogue.
Hello there, darling. How are you?
Razor room. I'm very good, Baroness.
There you go.
Yeah, so something like
Yes,
that. Yeah, and
yes.
so and I could see how that would take the energy out of it because you're not interacting as much as
Well,
right.
there was too much razor room there.
Oh,
but,
okay.
but yes, and plus
I'll take
the
that as
fact,
a critique. Okay.
plus the oh come on, plus the fact when you're actually doing it. I mean, I was looking at you. You and I were looking at one
Yeah.
another. You wouldn't because your script is in front of you. You're facing the mic, and as soon as I turn away to look at you, you just lost my voice.
Yeah.
So, but there's a energy that's created by having actors all in a room together.
Mm-hmm.
It's the incredible energy that nobody can really get if they haven't performed, and then in 2 hours you're expending an 8-hour day's worth of energy.
Yeah.
And you're driving off that.
It can be exhausting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you and me talking together. Would this be the same if you and I, would we read our lines the same way?
No.
If they would be, no.
Totally.
No.
When I've recorded, I made the most I'll ever do in a day is 2, even if like I have like 2 or 3 because
Totally wear you out.
What I quickly learned, even just doing the podcast, because you're sitting, you're upright, your brain is focused on the moment, and your energy, your internal energy is so high. As soon as you're done recording, you're just like, oh. So if I'm doing a Skype interview, like that'll be it for the day. I'm good. I'll do the recording and then I'll just go chill for the rest of the day. I'm like,
that was the funny thing I didn't tell you about the Transformers, the convention. Should I tell you about that?
Sure.
Okay, it's Saturday. All the actors have been there. I mean, everybody's been there, but the actors, awesomes, have been there since 9 o'clock in the morning. It's 5 o'clock, and we're all wiped, man. We're on the floor. And some little chipper person comes by and says, oh, now we're going to do the table read over in the auditorium. Come on.
Oh.
My God. Well, we're all performers, so we did it.
Yep, you mustered it up.
But
so here you go, Baroness using the conch, the power of the conch for the first time. And look at what happens. All the dudes.
Oh, I love it.
And all of a sudden, Cobra has a preponderance of female soldiers, which was not the case in any other episode. Except for Cover Girl. She doesn't get taken out. She's hefting Gung Ho pretty well. Gung Ho's a big dude. Good for her.
Well, why are you surprised, darling?
Yeah, she eats her Wheaties and drinks her Cheerios.
It worked.
See? Look at that. Everyone's a zombie. It's so cool.
Where do I get my conch shell
I tell
from?
you, just as Destro said it would. You
What a great,
realize what this means?
This is great.
It seems you have given me the perfect weapon against G.I. Joe. You.
And see, this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
This is the ego that comes into play.
Oh, yeah.
Where Cobra could have done so much better, but everyone's their own little fiefdom, right?
Well, yeah.
And so they can't work together. They can't
course
go,
not.
we've got this amazing tool. Let's use it to, Cobra Commander is always calling G.I. Joe to say, hey, look what I just did. And then they're
I
like,
know.
oh, we didn't even know
I
that.
know.
Thank you. Now we're going to go stop you.
Right, yeah.
Or in this case, they're attacking her. By the way, this is amazing. You stop Tomax mid leap. Fantastic.
No, my former commander. Not treason. It is destiny.
Oh, that's so good. So we're going to go to commercial. And we're going to be right back with some more Destiny.
G.I. Joe will return after these messages.
Listeners, you've heard me talk about it before, and I'm telling you again, the Dreamer Comics podcast with Omar Spahi is the best source for any aspiring comic book creator to learn how to realize your dreams. Every week, Omar talks with a comic book industry veteran about how they broke into the business and the steps they took to take their talent to the next level. If you want to learn what it takes to publish, color, ink, letter, pencil, or write comic books, this is the podcast for you. Please give it a listen. Look for Dreamer Comics Podcast wherever you listen. And now back to the show.
Now back to G.I. Joe.
We are. Oh, so Baroness is on the rise. That's what's great.
Ooh.
So you mentioned
It's fun. It really is incredible to watch these things. They were very well done.
yeah. You mentioned your children. You have
I have a son.
you have a son.
Yes, I have two
Fantastic.
grandkids.
Oh my goodness! Well, congratulations. That's a delight.
Yes. The first one is already graduated from high school and doing college, and the second one's going to graduate this year.
That's
She's
great.
graduating.
Congratulations.
She's the artist.
That's so cool.
Well, I don't know what I did, but anyway,
Well,
that's
you
okay.
you were
I'm the grandma.
Ray, you're the grandma. So with that in mind, here's the obvious question: did your son play with the Joe toys? Like, was that a thing?
Well, I have to give something away here. My son had the original Joe.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes.
That's awesome. So then
And
was
when
he-
we were in England, we bought Tommy accessories because they had Tommy in England.
Oh, okay.
And so we bought a Foot Locker and we bought the
when
outfit.
did you live in England?
I didn't.
Just when you were visiting.
Went,
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
we just went to visit. Yeah,
that's very cool.
So Sam Spear, who designed the doll,
Mm-hmm.
the large one that was inspired by Barbie, monetarily inspired by Barbie.
Yes.
Sam Spear signed one of the new large GI Joes,
That's cool.
and I gave it to Justin. Yes,
That's really, really
Yes.
neat. That's really cool.
I know it
Yeah.
is. It is. So
Did-
I met Sam Spear in Dallas.
Oh. So then did your son, you said Justin? You did,
Yeah, and he did some voice
was he
work.
jazzed when he was like, wait a minute, my mom's doing the voice for this toy that I grew up with?
He still is. Oh, yeah, he still is. He's
that's
cool.
crazy cool.
He's cool. He has a fabulous voice himself.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is he working in the VO world?
No.
Just knocks out the great
No,
voice. He just leaves a lot of amazing voicemails.
He has a spatial artistic ability. He's very manual.
Oh, I love it.
Manual dexterity. Oh yeah, he's a very interesting guy. Yeah, but he has a very good voice too.
I love it. So the Baroness here, she's on the move, and she's breaking out her man. Yeah. Do you know that in the comic books they gave Baroness and Destro a child?
Command Cobra now.
Oh dear.
Yeah, she ended up having a child with Destro.
Okay.
Yeah. So they did get together
Fine.
like long term. Yeah.
I'm so excited. Well, at least for
It's
5
one of the
minutes.
great. It's one of the great on again, off again romances in the comic books.
Oh, okay.
It really
I know
is.
everybody thinks that's so cool. Okay.
It really is.
Okay, all
because
you
he was so
listeners, you can be
dedicated.
Cool.
He was so dedicated to her in the comic continuity wise. There are scenes when he's like, "I've never shown my face to anyone else," and it's.
I know.
She's like, "Yeah."
Oh, what's the line? Everybody always, Destro, I hear bells.
Yes. Well, that comes into play. That love comes into play on this episode. We're going to see it in action later.
Okay.
That love is what saves the day for the rest of the free world.
Oh my goodness.
for sure.
Sakes alive.
Oh, for sure. So she's zombified all the Joes
Oh, I
right
love
now.
it. I love it. I love it.
And they are like marching out of the compound under her command, except for the 3 ladies, of course. Scarlet, Lady J, and CoverGirl.
Duke and Flint are in Cobra's power, Scarlet.
It's funny.
Now it's
Scarlet's like, "Oh no, Duke." And Lady J has to remind her, "Yeah, Duke and Flint. Like, we both got boyfriends." And no one's like, "What about Clutch? What about Rock and Roll? What about Snake Eyes? What about Rakondo?"
Never
no
mind.
one. It's our boyfriends are in trouble, and CoverGirl's going, I haven't given me a boyfriend yet. So.
Well, will I be back in another episode? Yeah.
Do you remember any? Because I know you did a couple. Obviously, you guys would do a lot of different voices on the show. Do you remember any
yeah.
other? You did Dusty's mom or something, right?
Oh, I probably did. I kind of remember I think it was Major Hooper from the first one.
Okay.
Because that was just basically me being,
Yeah.
brisk, brusque, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So, no, I don't really.
So you were also on a multi-episode arc of Knots Landing.
Oh, my God. Yes. Oh, I know. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Oh,
I mean,
I did a lot of strange things
That's
in the
fun,
80s.
though.
I survived.
Yeah.
I've got very nice Screen Actors Guild insurance from
That's
all
great.
those odds and ends.
Yeah.
And the Walla and the post-prod. Oh, yeah.
And Street Hawk. No, listeners, if you don't remember Street Hawk, I don't know if you have any memories
Oh,
of
wait,
Street Hawk.
I was the judge.
It was, yes, you were. It was about, I have not seen the episode, but I remember the show. It was basically a dude who, it was like Knight Rider, but instead of a car, he had a motorcycle that was like a combat motorcycle.
Yeah. If it's the one I remember, you get there at 5, they put on your makeup, they give you your outfit, and you're looking fairly fresh until noon.
Yeah.
Then they give you your close-up at 4 p.m., in which you look a little bit draggled, Yeah. Oh, well. No, it was good. It was good. I still get residuals from some of this stuff.
Oh, that's great.
There was a guy on Remington Steele, now I can't remember the actor's name, sorry, who played a woman in drag, and I don't know why they didn't just harmonize his voice and give it some upper layers, but I went in and I did his voice. So you see, there's ADR.
You're right.
Right, yeah. No, that was too much sex in that sound. It was very deep. It was very kind of down in there. And when you see that married to the character on the screen, yeah.
Well, we're going to go to commercial with Lady J in trouble. So we're going to be back with more Morgan
will
Ross.
return after these messages.
Hey, listeners, thank you for your continued support of the Joe on Joe podcast. We completed all the main episodes of the original cartoons, and now we're looking ahead to new ways to discuss the toy we all love, G.I. Joe. Be sure to go to patreon.com/JoeOnJoePod to see how you can help support the future of the Joe on Joe podcast. We're going to be doing some more comic book reviews, one-on-one all-star interviews, and some very exciting special episodes to be revealed. Your support makes all of that possible. So please visit patreon.com/JoeandJoePod and help make it happen. Now back to the show.
Back to G.I. Joe.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back. Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Hello.
I always forget who has the scar, Tomax or Zaymot.
Oh, okay.
It's funny.
Oh, no.
I've had friends of mine always bust my chops because like little things like that, I cannot nail it down for the life of me. Even though, I've done the show for 3 years. I know, shame on me. 3 years. I'm staring at this in and out. I can never keep track of who's Tomax and who's Zaymot.
Question.
Zaymot!
Oh, no, that's Zaymot. Okay. Oh. So this is great. So she's got Tomax prisoner. I'm sorry, she. Let me be a little more specific. Yeah. You have Tomax prisoner.
Thank you very
You're here
much.
right now, so let's be specific.
Yes.
You have Tomax prisoner.
Yeah.
So Zaymot wants to free his brother.
Oh, okay.
Right? So that's why Zaymot is kind of rebelling against the Baroness.
Oh, my goodness. You realize how many guns have been fired in this show so far?
Blue lasers, red lasers.
Oh, my heavens.
So when we first did this, actually the guest on because we've done this, we've gone through all the episodes at this point. And the first time we watched this together, my wife was it because I wanted to get on this episode where it was like a female, like strong female voice on it.
Yeah.
And one of our takeaways was that we were like, the Baroness got this power and she just did exactly what Cobra did. Just like we wanted her to do more, like something different. Like when you give her the reins, you do more than just attack G.I. Joe. Like do something crazy.
Okay.
And would you guys ever get scripts? The reason I bring it up is would you ever get scripts and go like, oh, the Baroness shouldn't do that? Or was it more of just you just did it?
No, the scripts were cast in stone by the time we got them. No. Mm-mm. We might throw in a couple extra little, fight noises, but no.
And you did a little bit of writing as well.
Well, no. Actually, what I did was take a Japanese cartoon, somebody does the translating, and then in order to make the words fit in the mouth, they do what they call someone writes the adaptation.
Oh.
And I wrote a couple of the adaptations
to match the lip flap.
Oh my God, that was
nightmare.
Yes. Yes.
You still can't attack in force, or we'll hurt Flint and the others.
Yeah, that
Perhaps
really
this will
was.
help.
So here's the MacGuffin. Well, the anti-MacGuffin, I guess. So this scientist created this anti-vibrational thing to break the spell of the siren.
Rats.
Yeah. Someone's always here to foil your plans, Baroness.
Of their lives.
Curses.
It's worth a try.
See, there's that camaraderie. Just for no reason. They're just chanting Yo Joe.
Is the leader, not you. If you put me under the siren spell,
Jester is he's gonna feel
to share your triumph.
He's gonna feel very betrayed here.
Madman like Cobra Commander would wish to rule alone, when the two of us can rule together.
See, this is like a romance for the ages. This is like Cleopatra and Mark Anthony.
It's Zaymot, Baroness. He's leading the Joes against us.
Oh, no.
Oh, this is great. So Zaymot's leading the Joes because he knows how to get in. There's the snake combat armor.
Oh, my God.
Do people ask you to sign? Because the Baroness being like a smallish figure, do they ask you to sign her at all, or is it mostly packaging? Or
most people who ask for a signature, the packaging is very important. These are people that never played with the toys.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, my son had a yellow submarine that's long lost and long played with. Yeah. I think the kids that grew up probably bought fresh ones.
Yeah.
And then we signed the.
I was one of those kids that absolutely played with them, but I had a collector in my brain because I'm a big comic book collector. So my toys are still very pristine. If I was they never got left out in the dirt.
The box is gone.
Oh, the boxes are gone.
Sorry.
But I still to this day know that I've only ever lost one figure, and it was a breaker that I left out, and it got lost in the very and Yeah, that's literally it. One G.I. Joe
my
figure was
God,
ever quote unquote left
how
in the
many
yard.
did you own?
Oh, probably over 100. Yeah, I still have most of my figures.
kidding.
Yeah.
Oh
I mean, they
my
made
God.
hundreds of different dudes, but I probably had near 100. Yeah, my parents were pretty good with that. This was like my main gift range. You know, like I had some He-Man, I had some Transformers,
Okay.
but all the energy went to G.I. Joe because it was so much. There was,
but you're right.
and they were affordable.
They're so little.
Yeah, and they were
that
very affordable.
When I sign a Moonracer, I can sign the Transformers
Right.
character because they're big enough.
Yes.
You know, I sign on the arm or on
Yeah.
the leg. Or,
You also, I mean, technically, in the comic book, you're the first Cobra introduced. Because in the very
Yes.
first comic book, you're on the train. You know, Baroness is on the train doing the kidnapping of Dr. Burkhart in the very beginning. You and Cobra Commander are driving the Force yet. They hadn't introduced Destro and stuff. So I mean, Baroness is just vital. What did you
Oh,
think
I
when
know,
you? What
I
did you?
just
Oh, what did you think of?
absolutely-
What did you think of the movie, the live action of her portrayal of Baroness?
I didn't go.
Oh, you didn't go, yeah.
Because I am the Baroness.
I love that.
In case you were confused. And I love Serena Miller as an actor. I
she's great.
absolutely adore her, but I have no desire to go see.
I get it.
Nope.
I get it.
Should I take this out of my ear?
Oh, you can, because that's it. The episode's over. The Baroness's scheme was thwarted.
Oh no!
So how did it feel to see
Flip
this stuff?
Dilly.
Yeah.
I
How did it
just
feel to
saw
see
Flip.
this stuff after so long?
I'm amazed at how good they are. They really are good.
They look gorgeous.
They really, yes, they do.
Yeah.
The color is spectacular. The sound is wonderful. The layering of the sound. So you've got the sound effects, you've got the music, you've got
music
the
is
dialogue track.
killer.
Absolutely.
One of the biggest differences between this era and the DIC stuff that I never really put together
Dick.
until the Dick stuff
Yeah.
until we started really analyzing it on the show is the music. Because with the Dick stuff, they just took like snippets of this and just found places to use it instead of really scoring the scene. Like it wasn't that
Right.
tailored to the scene.
Right.
And it is so
Wow.
visibly different. Like it really is palpably different. Where if you had put the scoring, like the traditional scoring of these are the emotional beats, let's lead
Right,
to this and lead
right.
to that. That show could have been just a bigger experience.
Right.
Yeah. So Morgan, there's
Yeah.
a bit that we do on my show where my guests are, non-part. They're usually not a part of the actual production.
Oh.
I asked them if they themselves personally could be a member of the G.I. Joe team or Cobra team, who would they be and what would their code name be? Now, I feel like that's an odd question because you are the Baroness.
I know.
So, if you, Morgan Lofting, were to join this universe, would you still be the Baroness, or would you do something else in the world of G.I. Joe Cobra? Would
With
you be maybe a Cobra
modifications,
Cobra
I would
historian?
be, sit down, Arthur. Sit down, Chris. Yes, I would. Yes. I'd kick butt.
I feel like you'd be like a Cobra taskmaster, a Cobra general.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So wait a
In
minute.
charge.
I got
Thank
it.
you.
You, Morgan Lofting, are one of the women that was in this episode
Oh, yeah.
that were being commanded by the Baroness, and now over the years you've risen in rank. So now you're one of the generals of the Cobra Army.
Oh, well, I thought I always was.
Well, yeah. Well, of course.
What?
Of course.
Who are you again?
And would your name be? Would you still be the Baroness, or can we?
Oh, I like the Baroness.
Yeah,
I've never
so you're the
thought-
Baroness,
I've never
of
thought
course.
about having.
Yes.
Plus, when I sign my name, I sign the with a capital T and the Baroness with a capital B. There's no such thing as Baroness. It's the Baroness.
That's
Thank you very much.
That is so fantastic.
Yes.
I love that. This has been everything I could have ever dreamed of.
Joe. Yes.
Yeah, this is really delightful. Thank you so much for being
I've
on the show.
had an absolutely fabulous time.
I love it. Is there anything you'd like to say to the fans of G.I. Joe?
I love you all that you're out there and that they're new fans of G.I. Joe. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
That's so great. So great. Thank you so much. And listeners, thank you guys so much. And Morgan, now you Joe. And Joeing is half the battle.
Oh, who?